this one comes on familiar turf at highpoint.com stadium. The guests are ready to ruin the party. Penn State has won 9 straight and dusted the competition throughout the regular season. For the first time, the Garden State of New Jersey plays host to the Big Ten Men's Lacrosse Tournament. Today, the host school and number 4 seed Rutgers Scarlet Knights. They have a score to settle with the number 1 squad in the nation, top-seeded Penn State, and their devastating offense for college lacrosse on BTN. The tournament bracket is brought to you by Meyer. Both semifinal pairings are rematches of games played this past Saturday. Penn State squeaked past Rutgers, while Johns Hopkins took down Maryland by 5 to earn the number 2 seed. It is so great to see you again. Along with Mark Dixon, I'm Joe Beninati. These two teams have a common goal, Mark, but they're going to approach it from different mindsets.
Penn State is a team that a lot of people have penciled in not only for a Big Ten championship, but for championship weekend. First things first, they've got to win their first ever Big Ten tournament game. That starts here tonight against Rutgers, a team that is 7-7. Lose, their season is finished. Win, they go to the Big Ten championship game, stay in the conversation for a potential NCAA tournament berth.
Back on Saturday, the game-winning strike for the Nittany Lions waited until the final minute of regulation time.
Better late than never, and you can never sleep on this Penn State offense. They can score and beat you in so many different ways. Here we're going to see the score tied at 13, under a minute left. Jack Kelly slips underneath the Rutgers defense to an open space, denied. Max Edelman hit 12th save on the game. Watch T.J. Malone. Little goose to Grant Ament. The assist machine finds Jack Kelly. Turn, shot, ball game. Nittany Lions win the regular season title.
Do we ever have the makings for a great goalie battle today? Big Ten Coach Specialist of the Year, Max Edelman, guarding the cage for Rutgers. No one in the nation makes more saves per game than him. Penn State sending Colby Knies into the crease. The second-team All-Big Ten selection behind Edelman makes big saves and then throws beautiful outlet passes.
We've got the 2 best goaltenders in the Big Ten facing off with each other. We've got 2 of the best offensive players, Sherlin Beatties and Grant Ament. Let's get this party started. First of 2 tremendous semifinal games right here on BTN.
Officials today are Hans Wittelsberger, Joe Cieslak, and Chris DeFelice. 8 in the white jerseys. Rutgers enter here at highpoint.com stadium in the all-red ensemble. The Scarlet Knights get the first offensive possession, 6-on-6. Rutgers coming in with a mark of 7-7. Penn State at 12-1. Having just met 6 days ago, surrounded by all the pandemonium of Panzer Stadium in Happy Valley.
It's quickly become an outstanding place to watch Big Ten lacrosse. Face-off violation on Gerard Arceri, his first of the ball game. That's a good sign for Rutgers. Puts a little bit more pressure on Arceri to be disciplined.
Kieran Mullins in possession, drifting back behind the cage there for Gallagher, who's marked on the perimeter by Mike Aronow. Swinging around for Coyne. Number 6 scored 6 times back on Saturday. Fires this one at Knies. It rattles off the cage and is picked up on the run. And now we get our first look at the Nittany Lions offense as Bobby Burns is run to the ditch.
Tommy Coyne, not a bad shot, but he's going to run right up the back of Bobby Burns, trying to force him out of bounds, trying to make a play. He's going to shove him right in the numbers, EMO, for Penn State to start. If you're Coyne, it's hard, but you got to get that leverage. You got to get right on shoulder. The official, Hans Wittelsberger, trailing the play, saw the shove in the back. Here comes Penn State.
Anybody who has seen Penn State this season, that offense is prolific, and especially so on extra man, an eye-popping 58.1%. They lead the nation in that category, a chance to lift the lid on the scoring today. Edelman fights one off, and another on a bang-bang combination stop. The third try finds pay dirt. O'Keefe would not be denied.
Wow, what a sequence to kick this game off. Max Edelman, first team all Big Ten goalie. He's going to show you why. Nice little pass, folds, good shot, denied. Jack Kelly, no thank you. But much like last week, the rebound comes to Mac O'Keefe. If you're Rutgers and you get those saves, you've got to get the ball out or you got to clear out and not allow a white jersey to pick it up. But how about O'Keefe? Picks it up, gets guillotined a little bit. Could have been a hold right there. Fights through it and whips it past Max Edelman. Terrific goal, Mac O'Keefe.
And in the process, Mark breaks his own single-season record for goals in a campaign. That's 52 now for the marvelous Penn State number 3. Round and round we go on the draw. Arceri against Harriman. Play off the wing, so important and critical there. The scoop from Kevin Fox, who ran out of real estate. It'll be Rutgers ball.
Who would have thunk it? 2 face-offs in, 2-0 Scarlet Knights. Even though technically that was a win for Penn State, they run the ball out of bounds. They've got to cash in on these possessions. They lost 19 of 28 a week ago in Happy Valley.
Against Arceri, second team all-conference at the face-off X. This pass was deflected by Knies. It'll be remaining with Rutgers. And their second leading goal scorer and point producer, Kieran Mullins. Joe Peterson moves in off the flank. Gets to the alley, kicks it back behind. Quick passing play looking for Charlem Beatties, who's down in a heap. Sweep across the top, Meade fires, and it's Knies right there to make the stop. The outlet pass, it's knocked down by Meade. And then taken to safety by Big Ten Defender of the Year, Chris Sabia. Mac O'Keefe has given Penn State the advantage in this first Big Ten tournament semifinal.
And this is what you get when you get Penn State Rutgers. You get it up and down the field, frenetic pace. Nice job by Meade to knock that pass down, but you got 2 white jerseys right behind that loose ball. That is a forte of this Penn State team, transition lacrosse.
Ament with the feed, deflected, knocked down. There against O'Keefe, it squirts loose, and it comes up for TJ Malone, the 20-year-old freshman from Pennsylvania. Malone wading in against Franz Kowiak. Short stick D midfielder for Rutgers. This pass finds Spillane. Spillane shoved out, long-range drive knocked down, as that was Dylan Folds pulling the trigger, but Penn State recovers.
I like Rutgers has packed it in a little bit on Max Edelman in front of the Rutgers goalie. Normally they play a little more pressed out.
10 seconds on the shot clock. Kelly submarines one high and wide.
It's almost like Rutgers defense is bunkering down in a fort, playing so close inside with Max Edelman.
Shot clock at 3, the pass for O'Keefe. He was trapped by 3 defenders. There's a loose ball push here.
Oh, man.
And it came very late in the shot clock.
1 second left in the shot clock. Not only does Penn State retain possession, the shot clock resets.
Malone looks to go from behind the cage. Powers his way towards the crease. Jump shot. He scores! TJ Malone.
Stopping this Penn State offense once in an 80-second span is hard enough. Fresh 80, TJ Malone likes the individual matchup. He's just going to take his man above goal line extended. Use a little bit of a rub pick. It's almost like the Rutgers players picked each other off. Right there. 3 red jerseys crash to TJ Malone. They pick each other off. He gets top side and puts it far post.
He has come on with a vengeance for Jeff Tambroni's offense. 24 goals this season for TJ, and markers in 7 of the last 8. Backing up an O'Keefe strike to make it 2-0 for the guys in the white jerseys. Harriman scoops this one out. On the flank for the wingman Pless. He overran it. A wild scramble for the loose ball. And out of the pack, sprinting it across for Rutgers is Jack Thompson.
A nice ground ball, good discipline. I was wondering why Thompson didn't come out of the box, because possession had been signaled when Pless picked it up, but his timing was perfect. Let those guys crash into each other, let the ball squirt out. He picked it up uncontested, hustled it upfield. Another possession for Rutgers.
Trailing by 2 where it matters most, although they've won the first 3 faceoffs. Mullins picked up by Sabia. Back behind the cage for David Sprock. Sprock hawked there by Bobby Burns. Rose will swing it around for Coyne. Charlem Beatties sails one high. Adam Charlem Beatties just 2 for 16 back on Saturday.
Had 2 goals and 4 assists, but that shot run out of bounds by Penn State.
Brian Breck looking on, now in his 8th season as the Rutgers head coach, thrilled that his team qualified for the Big Ten tournament that they're hosting. There was a time he recalled for us during his Siena days where that wasn't to happen, and he hated the fact that somebody else was dressing in his team's locker room.
MAC tournament a few years ago when he was in charge of that Saint program, they did not for the MAC tournament, and he said it was painful to have to watch that on his home field.
Cardeal knocked down Charlem Beatty's pass, and now 43 in the white will look to clear. You have 20 seconds to get it across the midline.
You got to settle down if you're Rutgers. I mean, 2-0. They fell behind 3-0 a week ago in State College, reeled off 4 straight goals to take a 4-3 first quarter lead. So they're not afraid of this Penn State team, but you're in your home field. You got your home crowd. Got to start executing better.
Just a little edgy at the start. Nick Spillane has it for Penn State. Early markers from O'Keefe and Malone, a 2-0 lead for the top-ranked team in the land. Trainer playing catch with Cole Willard. Willard is the man from the top, 28 in the white. Trainer dashing in against Marin. Looking for Ament. Everything flows through number 1. Spillane fires, and that's fought off by Max Edelman. Backed up on the end line by Willard.
Yeah, again, Rutgers really packing that defense in, closing down passing lanes for Ament, and they're going to give up those long-distance shots. They have confidence in Max Edelman.
Ament goes behind the back there to make that pass for Willard. Bring it this way, change the point of attack for Jack Trainer. There's a whistle away from the ball.
Crease violation. Grant Ament got a little shove from Kyle Pless within 5 yards of the ball. Smart play by Pless. He steps into crease. Possession, Scarlet Knights.
Marin running for cover, brings it across and gets an offensive set for Rutgers as the Scarlet Knights are looking for their first tally on the day, some 7 minutes into the contest. This is one guy who can provide, Ryan Gallagher, who went for 5 points against Penn State back on Saturday, a goal and 4 assists.
Yeah, Gallagher, converted midfielder, can play either up top, behind the cage, from the wings. Valuable offensive asset.
Franz Kowiak going to the goal, sent it wide. Picked up there by Mullins, a sharp angle bid. That was blocked on the wing by Robbie Black. Officials will confer.
Looks like it is an equipment issue. So here's Jack Trainer getting in on Sanguinetti. He just gets sandwiched right there. And it looks like his helmet may have come ajar. Referees recognize it. Franz Kowiak is the guy checking off of the field, getting some attention, and it'll remain Rutgers ball.
Scarlet Knights, first ever Big Ten tournament meeting between these two. Settles in the cross here of Peterson on his way to the goal. Bring it up top. Meade will distribute. Mullins from back behind the cage. They're shutting off Charlem Beatty. Sees Black is doing the honors of that. Shot clock down to 10. On the sprint, it's Mullins. Well defended there by Sabia. First team all-conference performer, 16 in the white. Uh-oh, Knies lost the ball. Unsettled. Charlem Beatty's to score.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, especially when you aren't really clicking on the offensive end, and Rutgers gets their first marker. I like the strategy of face guarding Charlem Beatty's. Nice check by Sabia, but it's on the flip. Back to Colby Knies. The goaltender, second team all Big Ten, just takes his eyes off the ball. Doesn't corral it, doesn't watch into his stick. Watch, he's looking upfield before he corrals the ball. Gets it in his cross. Nice unselfish play by Gallagher. Dip and dunk Charlem Beatty's. Rutgers is right back in it.
Charlem Beatty's first team all-conference. Closer and closer to a 50-goal campaign for him. He has tallies now in 23 straight outings. Gets Rutgers back in it, trailing the Nittany Lions by 1. An extended draw here between Harriman and Arceri. Kicked loose by the Rutgers X-Man. Nice one-handed scoop from Mullins. Mullins going right to the cage. He sent it wide. The backup belongs to the Scarlet Knights.
Statistically, Rutgers has struggled all year at the face-off dot. Statistically, they're better, though, with Connor Harriman, but he just seems to give this Scarlet Knight face-off unit a little bit more confidence, a lot more swagger. They feel really good when number 7 is out there taking the face-offs.
Harriman, Mark, wins about 51%. Alex Schoen is about 46. They're also not afraid to throw Ethan Rowell out there with a long stick from time to time to take the draws. Scarlet Knights, David Sprock in possession, playing catch with Charlem Beatties. Rose kicks it to the wing. The feed inside, that was a tough catch. Charlem Beatties hopping around after he was hit by Cardeal. The quick centering pass, sent home. Gallagher sprinting to the pipe.
Rutgers is an outstanding team offensively off ball. Charlem Beatties has been hobbling around a lot in this first quarter. Here he's just going to get whacked in the leg. He smarts a little bit, but Gallagher, he had Tommy Wright pulled all the way up top, and he's just going to crash cut. Straight sprint down to the near post. Beautiful look by Mullins. Catch, shoot, goal, and just like that, tied up at 2.
Gallagher getting goal number 22 on the season. Mark, you mentioned Charlem Beatties hopping around a little bit. All of Rutgers Lacrosse Nation holds its breath whenever they see him hobbling, since he missed all of 2017 and 18 due to injury.
He's a very physical player, but he's very physical off ball, setting picks, slipping screens. We saw him set a pick earlier, and he got ran over and got up very, very gingerly. We'll keep an eye on him, but it's great to have number 8 back in the game of college lacrosse.
Penn State had the first 2, compliments of O'Keefe and Malone. Rutgers the last 2. Charlem Beatties and Gallagher were level at 2 apiece, more than halfway through this opening frame. Joe Beninati and Mark Dixon with you from highpoint.com stadium. Ament with a defender bullet hung up, and there's a flag down.
That's going to be a push on Rutgers. Daninger is going to dump a Nittany Lion into the crease. Before Ament, it was a legal check into the crease. This time it's not, and Rutgers will go back into the sin bin. So it's an interference call, not a push. But either way, watch Daninger. After Malone gets rid of the ball, he's just going to shove him into the crease. Can't do that. Flag flies. Penalty assessed.
The Nittany Lions quickly get their formation set on extra man. They were 3 for 3 against Rutgers back on Saturday. Already 1 for 1 today. Send it across. That pass just gets away from Nick Spillane. O'Keefe from the top. O'Keefe, submarine shot, stop, rebound, quick stick score. Kelly on the follow-up.
Another rebound goal for Penn State. Max Edelman does a great job of tracking this underhand delivery from Mac O'Keefe. He's able to see it, knock it into the air, but Johnny on the spot, Jack Kelly, redirects it, and Penn State regains the advantage.
That's the second time we've seen Kelly right there to collect the garbage. This time he buries it, and the #1 ranked Lions love it. Lacrosse on BTN is brought to you by T-Mobile. Whether you're home or away, T-Mobile has you covered. And by Vivid Seats, the official resale marketplace of the Big Ten Conference. Download the Vivid Seats app today. Penn State winning back on Saturday. What an amazing game that was. There were 8 different lead changes in that contest. Jeff Tambroni's squad was definitely challenged, and he felt like his team would elevate again today.
And they have. They've continued. The way they move the ball on offense is so fun to watch. So quick, doesn't stay anybody's stick for more than a second. And their fadeaway feeds, Grant Amon's the best at them, but they step away from their defender and they get defenses ball watching. It's really uncanny. And like I mentioned, very fun to watch.
Coach Tambroni said, you know what, our guys really had to battle in that game, and it forced us to take a good look at ourselves prior to this Big Ten tournament action. The first of 2 semifinals coming your way with college lacrosse on BTN. Johns Hopkins and Maryland will follow in the nightcap. This ball belongs to Rutgers in the all red.
Yeah, nice piece of officiating right there by Joe Cieslak. A lot of bodies fighting after that ball. It was just off the toe of a Penn State defensive player. If you're Rutgers, you're down by a goal, but you like how you've responded to the early Penn State lead, and you have to love the way you're competing at the faceoff dot.
Winning 5 of 6 on the official stats in that category. We saw that in a game here against Maryland earlier this season, and then the Terps were able to turn things around. Coyne leaning in against Burns. 6-on-6 at this end of the field. 3-2 Penn State after the extra man goal from Kelly. This one's high on Knies. Backed up, it'll stay Rutgers ball.
If you're Rutgers, you got to start winning some matchups out in the midfield. They haven't been able to get leverage so far on the short sticks for the Penn State Nittany Lions. Loosen things up underneath for that attack.
Townsend is the shorty there on Sprock. Sprock hesitates. Finds a passing lane for Coyne. Switch it up to Rose as he gets downhill with a good split dodge, but that long-range drive was easy pickings for Colby Knies.
Love the move. Carry it in, draw the double, dump it down. Maybe even a hockey assist could have been right there for Casey Rose, but if you're going to shoot that thing, you got to have a better delivery against Colby Knies, who has just really elevated his game in his junior season in Happy Valley.
Throws a laser there to Townsend. Successful clear again for Penn State. Spillane's going to wait and then find Dylan Folds. Folds, who has scored in every game this year. 14 in the white. Brings it goal line extended, drawing some help. Ament, the fabulous feeder for the Nittany Lions, picked up by Garrett Michaeli. Michaeli, rangy, long stick midfield. So hard to get away from. Malone's feed, tried to find Spillane there. That'll roll out of bounds to Rutgers.
Looked like Thompson from Rutgers was almost face guarding Mac O'Keefe. So it was, in essence, 5-on-5 for Penn State. You can see Ament on that front sweep. He loves to find O'Keefe on the backside, but O'Keefe stayed on the crease as he was being shut off.
Rutgers looking to tie this trip. Mullins is back behind the cage, swinging it for Gallagher, one of the 2 goal scorers today for the Scarlet Knight. From the top, Michael Sanguinetti. Bring it on around to Owen Mead, the sportsmanship honoree for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights this season. Sanguinetti kicks it for Mullins. Mullins against Sabia, terrific matchup. There's a flag down against the Big Ten Defender of the Year. Mullins off the re-dodge. Sends it up top. Mead's going to stroll to keep that one alive. Extra man soon to come for Rutgers. Gallagher peels away from Robbie Black. Tries to run by him. He does. Sanguinetti hesitates. Fires, just missed. Backed up well. It's still alive for Rutgers. Mullins surveys. Bring it around up top. Mead's jumper is pounded into the turf and wide as the Scarlet Knights go to extra man.
Love the snappy ball handling by this Rutgers offense. That was a nice extended possession off of a flag down. Sabia, its only question, is it a slash or is it a hold against Kieran Mullins?
16 wide on the hole, 30. 16 wide hole. Here he is.
I like the way Mullins is moving so far in this game. He looks better than he has the last couple of games. And there we see Sabia. Nice little one-handed wrap check attempt, but he took advantage away from Kieran Mullins. Not only that, took him down to the ground. That draws the flag, and Rutgers now will try to benefit from the EMO.
4th overall in the Big Ten on extra man at 32.4. They were 2 for 3 in that losing effort in Happy Valley back on Saturday. Circle it up quickly for Coyne. Shakti off the feed. Shakti, who leads this team in extra man goals, 15 red from the top. Change the formation. Gallagher, skip it. Shakti fires, it's blocked. Rutgers will stay in possession. Mullins gets it right back into the act. He has his defender, Cardeal, hung up. Sharp angle bid as Knies goes to the splits to deny on Gallagher. Just over a minute with which to work in quarter number 1. 3-2 Penn State. A wraparound shot here that's turned away. Charlem Beatty showing his creativity around the net. Colby Knies sets his defensive strategy. 65 seconds left in the shot clock for Tommy Coyne. Far less than that in the first quarter, so the Scarlet Knights can hold for the final possession if they choose. Coyne sweeping from the top. Swinging on around. Gallagher gets the jump. His bid was blocked by Cannellin. It'll roll out of bounds. It'll still be Rutgers' ball.
Well, typically when Rutgers bangs it from one side to X, you got a lot of cross-cutting action. They're leaving the side open and allowing the guys from behind from X to dodge up the alleys.
Charlem Beatty's waiting back behind the goal. Tail end of this opening quarter. Peck is his defender. Puts a shoulder into him, knocks him down. Charlem Beatty's still, though, snapped it wide. Shot counter up to 15 for Rutgers. 5 of those in the last couple minutes.
Great strength by Charlem Beatty. Reminds me of John Grant Jr.
Shakti looks for Coyne, long way from the goal. He dodges the over-the-head jump. Knies makes the save as the siren sounds, ending the opening quarter. Penn State jumped out to a 2-0 lead. Rutgers would rally, but it's the top-ranked Nittany Lions who take the first quarter advantage, thanks to Jack Kelly on BTN. Time now for the State Farm State of Success, season number 5 of Big Ten Lacrosse. These, the regular season champs, those first 5 seasons in Penn State, pristine at 5-0.
And preseason, we were talking about how good Penn State could be. It's come to fruition. Tremendous offensive flow, stingy on the defense, good special teams, and the first perfect regular season since 2016, the Maryland Terrapins.
If you're just jumping on board with us on BTN, allow us to summarize the opening 15 minutes for you. Penn State, as usual, just sparkling on extra man.
Yeah, and 2 of those goals were of the rebound variety. So Max Edelman's got to find a way, seeing the ball well, he's got to find a way to make clean saves. And if you're Rutgers and Brian Brecht, you want the face-offs to continue to trend in your direction. They have been terrific at the dot.
White jersey Penn State, 12-1 heading into play today, their best ever mark after 13 games. Second quarter action unfolds. Pless in a battle there with Townsend. Short stick defensive midfielder for the Nittany Lions getting help there, and it works out just fine for Penn State's Dylan Folds.
They're a sensational ground ball team. Every time you look up and the ball's on the turf, there's at least one white jersey tracking down, fighting for, getting position with a ground ball. They are so good at picking it up.
Cole Willard against Franz Kowiak. Drifting below the goal line. Ament moves it quickly for O'Keefe. Devastating 1-2 punch for the Nittany Lions. Ament sends it for a trainer drive. It's sailed wide. Grant Ament, unanimous Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year. Number 1 for the Nittany Lions.
Ball went from the far side of the field, 4 touches to the other side in about 4 seconds. That's how fast they moved that ball.
Trying to split 2 there, Mark. Sent it back out for Cole Willard at the mid-stripe. 30 seconds left in the shot clock for Penn State. Kelly picked up by Michaeli. This is a nice matchup. It was Kelly who had the game-winning goal on Saturday with 40 seconds left. Ament picked up by Bullitt. Ament off the split, slings one himself, and that's grabbed by Edelman.
Nice clean save, high heat. Edelman snares it. You can see a little twist in his wrist when the ball hit his cross. I think that's an adjustment Edelman's make to make clean saves.
Charlem Beatty's hanging out, sends it back behind the cage as a flag down. Gallagher marked on the outside by Aronow. Rutgers again soon to go extra man. Subs coming in off of the Rutgers sideline, now completed that first midfield unit. Rose and Sprock and Coyne out there for Brian Brecht. This is Sprock with it. Shaded, traded off to Sabia. Here comes the help quickly from Fox. Charlem Beatty's rings the iron. That one's off the post, and then 10 rows into the spectator seats.
Almost a home run, but instead it goes in the foul territory. Rutgers is going to get another extra man opportunity. I like their offense, but you can see the way Penn State whips it around. Casey Rose got that feed. He waited a half second to get it over to Charlon Beatties. So it's another interference call. This time it's against Penn State. It was off ball. And so he's going to go through. Nick Cardio's going to get called for running through that pick, knowing that it was there. The referees are determined they knew it was there, and then he extended his arms. So he actually could have gotten an illegal body check, but they give him the lesser of the evil, and he'll be in the box for up to 30 seconds.
Second try on extra man for the guys in red. Shakti looks for Mullins. He lost it off the top of his cross. Peck picks it up. Diving effort on the sideline, looking to clear with Sabia's help, but Mullins skips out of the pack. 5 seconds left on the extra man. Mullins drifts in. Long-range heave that goes wide. Kenny's trying to pick it up off the carpet against Charlon Beatties as Penn State's back to even strength. On the ground ball, scoop, Tommy Wright has it, and he'll look for Kenny's to start the clear.
Nice play by Rutgers to get the ball back, but people ask the question all the time. Brian Breck told us this week, we just got to find a way to win these nip-and-tuck Big Ten games. Bad handle by Kieran Mullins down there, the half-second wait by Casey Rose. Those are just little things, but those little things add up, and they can lead to success or failure in a league as competitive as the Big Ten.
Coach Brecht always talking about one more save, one more possession, one less turnover.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you add it all up. Ament on it, gets a screen from Malone. Grant Ament on the hop, trying to get to the interior. Question mark, dodge back, swings this one, he scores! Grant Ament.
We saw Hopkins incorporate this defensive philosophy a couple weeks ago, and it really didn't work, but they're making Ament a Dodger. They're not sliding on number one. And they had a switch right there because of a pick, but there you can see there's no help. And Ament, Jeff Tambroni told us this week, he's a heck of a goal scorer. He's been going off with the assist, but that great change of direction, gets topside, nice little look away. He was looking across the field almost as if to feed. No look shot, stings the upper 90. Grant Ament showing he can still score goals.
Ament gets 6.4 points per game this season. A terrific offensive talent as Penn State's doubling up Rutgers by 2, nearly 4 minutes into quarter 2 on BTN. They joust for it here, and it comes up on the run for Nick Cardeal. Cardeal hoping to go in transition. Jake Glatz is out there, reserve draw man. He spells Gerard Arceri from time to time. Dylan Folds will walk in here as Penn State tries for its largest lead on the day.
2 face-offs wins now in the quarter for Penn State. Once they start winning face-offs, tilting the possession time in their favor, it's going to put a tremendous amount of pressure on this Rutgers defense.
Ament again on the dead run, feeds it up top. O'Keefe slings this one. Stop there. Edelman goes to the splits.
Great save, Edelman. O'Keefe, that's his game. He'll just vacate and occupy any space in front of that cage and whip it from anywhere.
Rutgers with a bad clearing effort, and it gives Penn State another whack.
Got to take care of that ball if you're Rutgers, if you're that midfield shorty. Well, if you hunt it, you get it from the goalie. You got to cruise that thing over the midfield line and get it from defense to offense.
Spillane sends it back behind the cage. Malone there darting in. Rolling back against Marin. Feed to the interior. Comes up for Kyle Pless. Pless, second team all-conference this season. Splits the gap. Great job there with his long stick. And he'll run for cover and get Rutgers a 6-on-6 offensive set.
Well, that's Kyle Pless in his natural habitat, playing close defense out of necessity this year, but he's a born LSM, and when he gets in the open field, thought he made a poor decision cutting it back against Jack Kelly. Thought he should have taken his angle, run down the sideline, and then cut underneath of Kelly. He may have had a transition, uneven situation opportunity.
He gets the ball in his long stick.
Love it.
Just great. David Sprock there on the outside, picked up by Bobby Burns, who will walk with him below the goal line. Just about 9 minutes remaining in the second quarter. It was 3-2 Penn State after 1. Rose, who hails from Utah, He's had a couple of 20-goal seasons while a member of the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Mullins against Sabia. Gallagher picked up by Burns. Shot clock at 18. Gallagher very slippery. Plays it out there for Rose. Change it for Sprock. Good defense, though, right there with footwork was Tommy Wright. Rose has 4 seconds to shoot. A long-range drive is routine for Knies. There's that sharp-looking outlet pass trying to send Penn State off on the run.
He's got to have more awareness if you're Casey Rose. Frankowiak ran to the midfield line as the Rutgers coaching staff sensing short time in the shot clock. Let's set up defensively, which they did. But Casey Rose, when he got the feedback, didn't realize that he only had 5 seconds to shoot. He ends up taking a 20-yard effort, whereas had he been aware, he could have stepped in, maybe made something happen, or at the very least dumped it into the corner.
Trainer and the Nittany Lions in no hurry right now. Folds to the goal. Shovel shot that goes wide. Netminders have already combined for a baker's dozen worth of saves today. Ament off the quick restart against Bullock. Spillane rolling in against Daninger. Spillane off the swim. Marin comes to help. They go backdoor on the look, and Edelman makes the stop there on Folds. Loose ball comes up for O'Keefe. Another offensive set for the Nittany Lions. They average 17 goals on the season per game. Willard powers his way in. This one's rolled off the carpet wide. Stays in bounds. Ament with it. Ament has the only goal of the second quarter. Spillane is picked up by Pless for the moment. Trainer meeting up with Ethan Rao. Long stick midfielder, 29 in red for Rutgers. Trainer on the sprint. Feed back side. Picked up by Ament as he elevates that shot high. The backup belongs to Rutgers.
Max Edelman has been spectacular between the pipes. 7 saves so far. Colby Knies on the other end, 7 saves. That's only half the battle, though. We've seen him. Max Edelman make saves, give up rebounds. This quarter, Rutgers has 2 failed clears. Can't allow Penn State those second, third chance opportunities. They will make you pay. And right now, Max Edelman, he's keeping this Rutgers team in the game.
A lengthy drought now for Rutgers. Their last tally with 6:16 left in the opening quarter. It came from Gallagher. We're just about at that mark now in the second quarter with time remaining. Push it back behind for Mullins. Mullins and Sabia working there. David Sprock, who hails from Dallas, Texas, comes to get it.
Sprock did a nice job of wiggling away from McAvoy's shut-off defense.
Charlam Beatties fires. Knies made the save, and he sprawls out to keep that rebound inside the crease. Gets help from the long stick defender. And back come the Nittany Lions with Cardia.
There you see Colby Knies, the gambler, ran out to meet that shot, took down the angle.
Black fires, he scores! In transition, Robbie Black.
Defense turns into offense. Transition lacrosse here in Piscataway. Charlam Beatties. Look at him take the shot. Knies steps out, cuts down the angle. We're going the other way. Robbie Black, he's an offensive midfielder for the first couple years in his career in Happy Valley, but he leads the charge with Cardio. I love how Cardio recognizes the numbers. 5-on-4, Black slings it home. The bench loves it, and Penn State is rolling.
Folks, listen up. Tomorrow on BTN, the 2019 Big Ten Women's Lacrosse Tournament gets underway in Baltimore. Maryland clashing with Penn State, then Northwestern will see Michigan in semifinal action. Live coverage begins tomorrow, 5 Eastern, right here on BTN and the Fox Sports app. There's your bracket, Mark. Maryland, very impressive, right?
Yeah, 8 first-team Big Ten selections. The Terrapins looking to win another Big Ten tournament title. They've got the All-Big Ten goalie in Megan Taylor. And you're looking at the top two goaltenders in the Big Ten. Max Edelman on your left for Rutgers, Colby Knies on your right for Penn State. 7 stops for Edelman, 8 for Colby Knies, and that 8th save led to a 2-goal turnaround. Instead of Sherlin Beatties solving number 34 in the white and blue, it goes the other way, and Robbie Black plants his feet and delivers a bullet past Max Edelman.
Rutgers coach Brian Breck said the goalie stats back on Saturday were just about a push. They were pretty close to even in a game that Penn State won on home turf. The Nittany Lions riding a 9-game win streak as they head into play today. Leading 5-2, it's their largest lead on the afternoon. They've scored the last 3 goals to provide it. Sharing the wealth with 5 different goal scorers. Dylan Folds seeing Cole Willard step in. Willard darting to the net. Malone for Ament. Inside to Kelly, all by his lonesome there. He got away from Pless for a moment, but missed the target.
Everything you were doing earlier in the game for Rutgers defensively is now not working as well as Penn State's getting clean looks.
This bounce shot goes wide from Willard. A sprint to the sideline, closest to the ball when it exits. And it's going to be Penn State ball.
A good hustle by both Michaeli and Malone there, running it out of bounds.
Ament, such a brilliant feeder. Puts that one on a rope for Willard. Inside, and Edelman snaps it out of the air.
Love how he came off of his line, cut down the angle, and again, clean save for number 10 in red.
Ball down for Sherlin Beatties. In a scoop battle there with Cargill, and away come the Nittany Lions again. Jack Kelly, the sophomore from Scarborough, Ontario, Canada. Nothing there unsettled for Ament. He'll bring it out.
We're seeing the athleticism of Penn State over the last 2-3 minutes. 50-50 ground balls. Penn State running them down, getting to them first, picking them up, sending it the other way. This is the difference between Penn State and Rutgers at this point in time. Rutgers looks tired, and Penn State has a lot of energy and a lot of fresh legs.
Trainer spins, looks for Ament. Grant Ament with his defender hung up. It's Bullet. Ament sneaks and scores! Just a sliver of room to the top corner.
Rutgers defense looking to regroup and figure this thing out. Grant Ament has 71 assists on the season. Today, Rutgers is trying to make him a scorer. You can see Michaeli, number 19, talking with Max Edelman, talking with the far side defense, but Ament quicker than a hiccup. Little stick fake, jumps above goal line extended. No one is getting there. If anybody had an opportunity, it would have been Edelman, but he would have had to come off his line, a little bit off his crease area. He didn't do that, and Ament makes him pay.
This is a guy with more than 70 assists this year, oh, by the way. Couple of hat tricks, one against Villanova, one against Johns Hopkins. He has 2. He's the first multi-goal scorer for the Nittany Lions on the afternoon. It's 6-2 Penn State.
He doesn't have a helper yet in this game, so he's figured out how to beat this Rutgers defense, and he's just as comfortable going to the cage as a scorer as he is a feeder, as evidenced by his 2 second-quarter goals.
This was a 5 p.m. Eastern start here at highpoint.com Stadium. Joe Beninati and Mark Dixon with you. Johns Hopkins and Maryland in the nightcap, the second semifinal in tournament action. The 2 winners will meet Saturday night here. Meade attacked by Aronell. Mullins gets loose for a moment. Swarming Penn State defense. Gallagher on the go against Burns into the alley. Gallagher off a beautiful roll dodge. Stopped there by Knies.
Great save, Colby Knies. But Gallagher, beautiful roll dodge, spin move inside. It's almost like he pushed that shot. Didn't really snap it off. And Knies read it all the way. And wow, Colby Knies, 2 huge saves over the last couple of minutes.
Brian Breck, the Rutgers coach, was saying, make sure we place the ball well when taking a shot on Knies. You can't just assume an open corner, an open goal is there. You got to bury it. That one didn't have enough pace. Dylan Folds playing a little 2-man game. Pless will interrupt. Just about 2 minutes remaining in this opening half. Penn State with all the goals in this second quarter. 3 of them, in fact. Spillane on the interchange, gets a little screen from Ament. Working in against Meade, tries to dive. And this is going to be a crease violation.
Rutgers has played a ton of defense here in the second quarter. You can see their close defenders putting hands on their hips, bending over a little bit, just trying to catch their breath. But I don't know what the call is here.
I heard offsides.
Offsides.
So the ball stays at this end of the field. With a timeout being asked for. Penn State has the 6-2 advantage on a 4-goal run. Ryan Breck's team trailing by 4. And knowing at the top of the scouting list, the guy that Jeff Tambrone is going to rely upon, Mark, is Grant Ament.
17 goals, 71 assists. We've talked to several Big Ten coaches over the last couple of weeks. They say make him a dodger, make him a scorer. If you play him as a feeder, he's just going to pick you apart. Beautiful change of direction, ragging out his defender. He gets the Rutgers close unit hung up right here. You can see Michael saying, help me, please. No way you're going to be able to get cross cage against someone that quick and that efficient. Grant Ament, 2 big goals leading this Penn State attack.
He had 7 assists last week against Rutgers. He's done that or more 6 different times this year.
It's sublime.
6 different times with 7 or more assists.
Talking with him earlier this year, he was a guest on the D-Fly Dixie podcast on Inside Lacrosse. We asked him, what did the year off do to you lacrosse-wise? Because we know the other piece of it. He appreciates the game that much more. His teammates got better. He learned the game better from being on the sideline. But it's basically like things kind of slowed down for me a little bit. And that goes with his training. He never stopped having a stick in his hand last year. He couldn't run around with the foot injury, the foot surgery. But he said the game is just watching my teammates. It helped it slow down for me. I noticed some cracks. I noticed their tendencies a little bit more being on the sideline watching him play as opposed to being on the field in live action.
No assists so far today for Ament. I heard a few of his comments leading up to the semifinal where he said that Penn State's offense wasn't at its best back on Saturday in the 14-13 win over Rutgers. Just 6 days ago, they rematch again in this Big Ten tournament. 1:44 left in the half as Coach Tambrone takes his peek from the sideline. A quick movement inside, that's perfect on a set play for Spillane.
Wow. If you're Rutgers, you go from a crease violation, having the ball in a clearing attempt, to a flag down because of an offside. And it couldn't have worked out any better for Penn State. You're Grant Ament, you drag across the front of the cage, and it's just a wheel. Meaning, as Ament rolls up the field, 2 players are rolling with him to his left, and there's a cutter underneath. Right in front, beautiful feed, nice finish, Spillane. This Penn State offense is clicking on all cylinders as we speak.
Spillane, the Nittany Lions sportsmanship honoree, the guy who led the team in assists last year while Ament was ailing injured. It's 7-2 now for the Nittany Lions, the #1 team in the land. Against Rutgers, 5 straight markers. Scarlet Knights, our host for Big Ten tournament action. Coyne, so explosive back on Saturday, has been quiet in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, and they're not keying on him per se. They're not putting a pole on him. They still have a shorty, but I'm really impressed with the number of short stick D-minis Penn State has and their physicality. They're not allowing this Rutgers Scarlet Knight midfield to get any leverage and win any matchup.
Charlon Beatty's bothered there on the pass by Cardeal. Canese hits Cardeal on the outlet. 44 seconds left in this half. Penn State trying to tack another one on before the intermission break. And they'll ask for time. 7-2 for top-seeded Penn State. Rutgers has won the last 3 meetings against the Nittany Lions here in Piscataway. Penn State's last win here, Mark, you got to go back 2009.
Yeah, this is a series, especially since these 2 teams joined the Big Ten Conference of Formation in 2015, that typically play nip and tuck, very entertaining affairs. What we're seeing here is Rutgers unable to take advantage of a plethora of offensive possessions due to Connor Harriman at the faceoff dot. Credit to Penn State defense. Penn State was opportunistic more than on par with their execution in the first quarter. 2 rebound goals, but this is the microwave offense of Penn State. They heat up very, very quickly. You've seen that here in the second quarter. They can beat you in so many different ways, and I'm kind of, but not really surprised with how fresh Penn State looks and really how tired Rutgers looks.
Jeff Tambroni, the Nittany Lion coach, said that they were sluggish. Penn State was on defense back on Saturday. They've been pretty sharp so far today. The winner of this matchup gets the winner of Johns Hopkins and Maryland. That game to come in our nightcap. The Blue Jays are on site, starting to warm up and stretch out, getting ready for once again the greatest rivalry in all of college lacrosse against the Terps.
Well, we're here at the Big Ten tournament. You start looking at the big picture. NCAA, Penn State and Maryland, I believe, are in the NCAA tournament. Many people feel like Hopkins, with that win against Maryland last week, could have taken themselves to the inner bubble, but another win against Maryland in the nightcap here tonight, I think, seals the deal. And for sure, I think we're looking at 3 Big Ten teams in the NCAA Big Dance.
You mentioned that bubble. Rutgers has been on the wrong side of the bubble the last 3 years. 15 seconds left in the half. Marin there to provide the short stick D. Malone closes. He bounced it wide of Edelman. Both Edelman and Knies very sharp in this first half in their respective nets. 8 seconds to go. Ament looking to the interior. A sidewinder pass to O'Keefe, his favorite target. He scores! O'Keefe beats the buzzer.
A buzzer beater and a backbreaker. These types of goals can kill you. End of quarter, end of half, end of whatever. Look at that. The smooth shooting stroke of Mac O'Keefe. It's a dynamic duo. Crockett and Tubbs right there, finding each other. Underhand sling, and O'Keefe. This is the part of his game that he's developed so well. Moving with the ball, moving his feet, getting topside, and beating defenses.
It was a major lament for Rutgers head coach Brian Breck. They allowed a goal late in the half last Saturday, late in the third quarter, late in regulation. That's not a winning recipe, as Penn State has ripped off 6 unanswered goals. O'Keefe gets his second on the day. An incredibly efficient second quarter for Penn State, outscoring Rutgers 5-zip. They lead 8-2 at the break. As advertised, Penn State sharpening its game in this Big Ten semifinal. Jeff Tambroni has joined us from the Penn State sideline. And Coach, what worked so well in that second quarter?
You know, I thought we grinded in that first quarter, and I thought Rutgers was just playing really well, especially off the ground. And I thought our guys were patient through some of that stuff into the first quarter, into the second quarter. And, you know, both goalies are playing really well, so it's tough not to lose your confidence. But I thought our guys stayed the course and remained confident when they were pulling the trigger. And I thought we broke through a little bit in the middle and late part of that second quarter.
When you talk about Penn State this year, Coach, typically offense is what people focus on, but this defense, only 2 goals to a very strong Rutgers Scarlet Knight team. You've seen it all season. What are we seeing tonight out of your defense?
Just playing together. You know, I think that on Saturday when we played Rutgers, we just didn't play our best game of lacrosse back there in the defensive end, and we were just not very well connected. I thought our conversations were off at times, so I think these guys are playing really hard, and they're playing really well together, and I thought Colby really had a nice first half.
Rutgers got the better of you guys at the face-off dot in the first 15 minutes. What adjustments did you make to even up that category in the second 15?
Jake Glatz, you know, Jake Glatz coming off the bench. He's been practicing really well over the last 2 or 3 weeks. He's got great competition with Gerard every single day. And, you know, I give him a lot of credit. It's been a long year, and he hasn't taken a lot of face-offs, but he has not lost his faith and confidence in what he's doing. And, you know, today giving us a huge boost in that second quarter. I mean, we was make it, take it in that first quarter, and really proud of Jake's efforts, and he's given us really a good chance to build some momentum.
Coach, we always appreciate the knowledge. Thanks very much.
Great. Thanks, guys.
8-2 after 30 minutes. Top-ranked Penn State looking sharp in this Big Ten tournament semi-action. Mark and I have halftime festivities in a moment. Big Ten tournament semifinal action continuing here in Piscataway. 8-2 Penn State after 30 minutes. Ryan Brecht and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights are our host. Coach, from your vantage point, it was a 2-2 game, and then what changed?
Obviously, Penn State's a very talented team, but I thought two made mistakes. Failed clears, a couple of great stops by Max, but second chance opportunities, gives them the ball back and another opportunity to score.
Coach, we always appreciate your time. Thanks very much.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Still more to come on BTN, the 2019 Big Ten Men's Lacrosse Tournament semis, continuing the greatest rivalry in lacrosse, Johns Hopkins and Maryland. All still to come tonight right here on BTN and the Fox Sports app. Mark, you and I enjoyed the first go-around between those two 6 days ago, and we were very impressed by the Blue Jays, especially on offense.
They played hard lacrosse. Not that Maryland didn't, but Johns Hopkins played with a sense of urgency, and I think that they need to play with that effort again here tonight. John Tillman and the Maryland Terrapins, beating them once is huge. Beating them twice in the same season, that is a tall order. You can bet your bottom dollar the Terrapins are going to be ready.
A breezy afternoon, as you can tell, here at highpoint.com Stadium. Jeff Tambroni and his Nittany Lions back to the playing surface. Penn State, earlier this season, they had Stony Brook down 11-0 at the half. Rutgers just tied for its fewest goals in a half. They fell behind Loyola 7-2 earlier in the campaign, ultimately losing that one 13-7. Arceri comes up with a draw at possession for white-jerseyed Penn State. The top-ranked team in the land has won 9 straight. They are 12-1. They won their first ever Big Ten regular season title last Saturday. They want the tournament honors this weekend. The winner of this one gets the winner of Maryland and Hopkins on Saturday night. You can see it right here on BTN.
It's been a season of a lot of firsts for Penn State lacrosse. First time beating Maryland in the history of their program. First time being #1 in the country for more than 1 week at a time. And first regular season Big Ten title. Can they win the tournament title? Well, remains to be seen.
Folds on the outside. Now in the cover of some darkness as the shadows take over here at High Point. Spillane on the go against Marin. Rolls back. Feeds inside for Kelly. And he'll stash it. Jack Kelly.
We've had the pleasure of watching Penn State more than most on the college lacrosse scene. The question they ask is, yeah, they've got a great attack, this Penn State, but what about their midfielders? Can they make plays? Spillane, Kelly, Willard, Rayoum, you name it, they can bring it. They've got a lot of scoring depth, and Nick Spillane, he's cooled off in recent weeks, but up until about 2 weeks ago, I thought he was playing at a high level, maybe first-team All-American consideration status, and there you see his feeding ability. He played attack last year with Amon's injury and missing that 2018 season, and his passing skills really developed.
You mentioned the redshirt freshman Dan Rayoum. I'm not sure we've called his name today.
We have not.
As the face-off is contested, Harriman there, Burns overruns it, but the scoop belongs to Penn State. Picking it up, Tommy Wright there, long stick midfielder.
And Wright is another player who missed 2018 with injury. He's such a vital cog to this Penn State team. He's their top long stick midfielder. He's a guy who's a vocal leader, an experienced leader, and just as happy as they are to have Amon back, so too are they Tommy Wright.
Spillane waiting in against Pless. Spillane ran out of real estate, finds Folds. And as good as Penn State is right now, they're going to start next year way up high in the rankings, you would figure. Trainer on the go, buzzes this one off of Edelman.
Well, apologies to the Trainer family. I left him out talking about all their terrific midfielders, but this is a Penn State team that goes 4 or 5 midfielders deep that can score points and make plays.
Nick Spillane ran into Pless. Off the ground, good scoop there coming from Jordan Paxad as he is harassed on the end line by O'Keefe. O'Keefe then gets hit by Bullitt, and it's Edelman's ball now for Rutgers on the clear in the all-red. Cole Daninger's a freshman from the great state of Washington, bringing this for Zach Franz-Kowiak, and then Gallagher. Gallagher, the last man to score for Rutgers, and it came close to the midway mark in the opening quarter. It's been a lengthy, dry spell for the Scarlet Knights.
Credit Colby Knies, credit this Penn State defense, and once again, the stakes for Rutgers pretty simple. Win, your season is over. Your record moves to 7-8. You're below that 500 mark. You're out of consideration for the NCAA tournament. Win, go to the Big Ten championship game and stay in the conversation for a potential berth, even if you should lose that Big Ten tournament title, even though I think that's what Rutgers needs to do to get there.
Gallagher off the roll, fires, and he scores! Ryan Gallagher.
I love number 34's effort. I like his quickness and his skill. And that was a much-needed goal for Rutgers to stop this 7-goal Nittany Lion run. His change of direction is terrific. Gets his defender out on an island, and here he's just going to cross up Colby Knies. A lot of the shots Knies has faced has either been at his feet or stick side. This one is neither. It's off hip, and a beautiful placement by Gallagher gets Rutgers their third marker.
The sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia, Mark, who played his schoolboy action, high school action at Marist School, was the top scorer in that program's history, as he bags goal number 3 on the day and ends a 24-plus minute drought for the Scarlet Knights. Arceri comes up with a draw. Gerard Arceri, second team all-conference on a Penn State Nittany Lions roster that is littered with all-stars and all-conference performers.
Into the victors go the spoils, and Penn State, a dominant 2019 season. I picked them to win the Big Ten in a preseason video that I did for the Big Ten Network and the Big Ten Conference, but I didn't think they were going to be this dominant this season.
Paxad didn't catch that clearing effort. O'Keefe and the Nittany Lions get another possession. Almost 4 minutes into the third quarter.
Well, that one would have been a 4-on-3 opportunity had Rutgers been able to corral, but another failed clear. Brian Breck mentioned it to us in our conversation with him at halftime.
Willard's pass for Ament is not a good one. It's a turnover back to Garrett Bullitt, and the Rutgers Scarlet Knights getting some cheerleading work on the sideline from Brian Breck. His team needs to snap to attention now, down by 6. Mullins has had Sabia with him for most of the day. Meade, who's having a career best year, 39 in the red, on the exchange with Michael Sanguinetti. Sanguinetti started out great, had goals in 4 of the first 5, but just 1 goal in the last 8 for this man as he kicks to Mullins. Move it up top. Keep it hot here on the outside for Joe Peterson. Rolling back. Didn't pull the trigger. Charlem Beatty's dealing with Cardeal. Meade badgered all the way by the long stick midfielder Kevin Fox. Meade's going to try it again. Peterson, who has a good shooting range, gets into the alley. Cardeal's been everywhere, 43 in the white. Shot clock and long range from Meade. That's sent wide. It's backed up. It'll stay. Rutgers ball with 10 to shoot.
Great job moving it on the perimeter. Who can penetrate this Penn State defense is the question.
Mullins tries. He gets defended there on the double. Sabia and Cardeal doing the work, and now Cardeal racing ahead in transition.
Nice job by this Penn State defense. Even though they're experienced, this was considered to be the weak spot, quote-unquote, of Penn State entering 2019. They do have stretches where they get a little too rambunctious, a little too disorganized, but when they are dialed in, they are physical, they are big, and they are athletic.
Brian Breck for Rutgers says, you know, they take chances, too, because they know their offense is so good.
It's almost like an NFL defense that when you know you can score on the other end, you blitz on every down.
Folds against Franz-Kowiak. Ament is next to the interior. Kelly shovel shot stopped by Edelman. And he comes out firing. Marin leads to Franz-Kowiak. Just does pick it up in time. Then Charlem Beatty's for Gallagher. Keeping it hot there. Just failing on the business end was Mullins. Round and round we go, and it comes up for Penn State in white. More transition here. Ament scanning. O'Keefe fires, it scores! Mac O'Keefe.
Second or third two-goal turnaround we've seen in this game. This should have been at least a shot on goal by Rutgers, but the mishandle, the mistakes, they're adding up one by one for Rutgers. And then look at that ground ball picked up by Sabia, and we're off to the races. Slow break. This is early offense. Rutgers looks recovered, and look at Mac O'Keefe. He collects the ball at goal line extended. All you young attackmen, he then attacks from where the ball came from. So he goes against the grain of the defense, runs by his man, and puts a nice whip shot past Max Edelman.
Mac O'Keefe hat tricks in 11 of his last 13 games. 10-3 for the top-ranked team in the land. Harriman came out of there with a draw. It gets away from Michaeli, and it's picked up by Tommy Wright. Cardeal wanders through Pless's check. And he'll set up another 6-on-6 for Penn State. It was 3-2 Nittany Lions after one. 5 unanswered in the second, made it 8-2 at the halftime break. 10-3 now for the guys from Happy Valley.
And oh, by the way, Grant Ament has 0 assists in this game, and they've still got 10 goals up on the board.
Donnelly switching for Ament. Spillane comes a-running. Hatcheted there by Pless. Ament, topside, long range and a split save. Edelman made that stop on Donnelly's BB. They're going to give the ball to Rutgers.
It goes without saying, down 10-3, 7.5 minutes left to go, third quarter. Max Edelman, another nice save. Rutgers has got to start stringing some goals together, getting some execution. Nice clear. This has been a bugaboo for the Scarlet Knights so far in this game, so a good clear, and now work on getting a quality look.
Mullins hoping to ignite from behind the cage. Charlem Beatties is out there on the flank. Gallagher here. Sprock, who has tallies in 5 of his last 7 games, maneuvering in off the swim. Gallagher this time is going to try Rose against Fox. Mullins drifting away from Sabia, who's done a fine job attached to him. Mullins peeking over the top, shot clock at 24. Sprock against Black. Black shoves him below goal line extended. Coyne up top, Rose, and that's plucked out of the air by Canise.
Again, settling for a long-range shot is the Rutgers midfield. Poor placement as well. Stick side. Colby Canise is going to gobble that one up every single time.
And the recoil of the goalie's cross was awfully close to that goal line, but he made it look nonchalant.
Well, another thing to point out is Penn State comes into this game shooting 43%. They're only 33% so far here tonight, but they still have a 7-goal cushion.
43% as a team, that is bizarre.
Unbelievable, unreal.
Cardeal running for cover. Rowell is there to make the check. Then he bowls him over, and the whistles come. This will be Penn State ball after the hold. Ethan Rowell was a Big Ten Freshman of the Week after a win here that you and I called for Rutgers over Michigan. 5.5 with which to work in the third quarter. Penn State up by 7. Ament trying to get underneath on Rowell. Malone, bullseye. T.J. Malone.
Ament gets the helper, and there's nothing fancy about this. It's just basically off of a clear. Substitutions are being made. Ament, that change of direction. Malone is the guy that comes in from the box. He catches it, shoots it, scores. Penn State is rolling.
Lacrosse on BTN is brought to you by State Farm. Here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today. By Diet Dr. Pepper. It's the sweet one. And And by Sector Spider ETFs. The next chapter in investing, call 866-SECTOR ETFs. Co-Specialist of the Year, Max Edelman, in tandem with Ohio State face-off man Justin Inacio. And Edelman's been beaten 11 times today, and he's still, in my mind, playing a wonderful game.
Think of how bad it could be if Max Edelman wasn't on his game. Sixth-year senior in what could be his final contest in a Scarlet Knight uniform. And on the other end, Colby Knies. Watching him develop, starting as a freshman, not an easy task, playing that level of goaltending in the Big Ten, and he's slowly every year gotten better and better and better.
We saw Gerard Arceri be spelled for some time in that opening half by Jake Glatz. He's got his timing down in the second half. Wins another draw for Penn State. Out in front by 8 over Big Ten tournament host Rutgers. The winner of this game gets the winner of Johns Hopkins and Maryland. That'll come Saturday, 7 o'clock Eastern on BTN. Trainer here for the Nittany Lions. Goals in 3 straight games prior to today. O'Keefe on the feed inside Kelly. There's Edelman making the stop. Follow up though, slammed in by Trainer.
This has the potential to be a dead ball foul against Rutgers after Trainer got another rebound. I've never seen so many rebound goals in a single game. We've seen 3 now, and we still have 4:50 left to go in the third quarter. O'Keefe, that quick release as Hans Wittelsberger comes over to administer the penalty.
19 red with the cross check, 1 minute.
So no face-off. Penn State EMO back on the attack, but look at the efficiency of movement and just the slickness of that feed inside. And then Trainer gets it, gets hit by Bullet. Didn't think it was as bad as it was, as I thought it was in real time, but he did get him high up around that head and neck area. Flag flies, Penn State will continue to try to pour it on.
It is unusual to see this game between these two teams this lopsided. 6 of the last 14 between Rutgers and Penn State have been 1-goal games. Just 6 days ago in Happy Valley, a 1-goal game, 14-13 in favor of the Nittany Lions. O'Keefe stroking from the outside, stopped by Edelman. Another rebound chance, and that one's bowled wide.
And if you're Rutgers, some way, somehow, you got to get on those rebounds. A check down on the arms.
Kelly forced off the angle. Skip it through for Malone. Then Kelly, he had Edelman at his mercy and lost it there.
I think he lost it on the 8th fake on the doorstep.
Nittany Lions showing off. Look away pass from Ament. O'Keefe flips. Spillane looks. Ament fires. He scores! A sizzler on the extra man, which cannot be stopped. They are 6 for the last 7 against Rutgers.
This ball movement is sweet. Brian Brecht. How can you stop it? Little flip, and then it just gets hot. And then Ament, little pro hop, 1-2 steps. Nobody's gonna come get in my arms. Picks his spot and just drills it home. Grant Ament with the hat trick. And this Penn State offense, they are really sharing the sharing of the ball, the speed of the movement, the crispness of the passes. It is, when they're on like this, they are very difficult to corral.
Never have they had an offensive season like this. 10-plus goals in all 14 games this season. The best stretch since 1995 when they did it all 13 games in that campaign. And looking for more now, Arceri runs away from Daninger. 3:45 remaining in the third quarter. As we hear the whistles. Another flag on the turf.
Penalty's going to be committed against Gerard Arceri, the face-off man for the Nittany Lions. It looked like they got 2 penalties due to the referees.
We got 45 red, all sides. That's a 30-second. We got a slash on 1-9 red. That's another. Grant, 6-0. You got 2 for 30.
Alex Schoen and Garrett Bullitt will find their way to the box.
So now if you're Jeff Tambroni, You've got a 10-goal lead with just under 4 minutes left to go here in the third quarter. It looks like you're going to advance to a championship game on Saturday. When do you start pulling your starters out? Because Rutgers isn't going to lie down. They're going to continue to go after these guys. They're tired. They're going to throw a lot of checks. That's when you worry about injury and nicks and bruises and bumps and that kind of thing if you're Penn State.
Penalty on Rutgers, number 19, Garrett Bullitt.
Right in the helmet.
1 minute penalty.
Arceri just running by him, and Bullitt trying to dislodge the ball. 6-on-4 advantage for the Nittany Lions.
O'Keefe on the feed there, the pass for Ament that's deflected. Michaeli at the top of the man-down unit for Rutgers in red. Ament, O'Keefe, and Folds. O'Keefe gets to the interior. Ament slips it inside, and that is a slam dunk put away for T.J. Malone.
This Penn State team is just humming right now. They're hard enough to defend those 6-on-6. But when they have 2 extra attackers out there, it's downright ridiculous. Look at the efficiency again, the snappy passing of O'Keefe. Plays like an indoor player, a box player. And Jeff Tambroni couldn't have drawn it up any better. Him and offensive coordinator John Haas. 11 goal balls now for Penn State.
T.J. Malone on the board again with the 2-man up tally. Malone, the freshman from Westchester, PA, went to Haverford School, was there briefly when Grant Ament would have been there at the same time. Arceri going to the goal, had that one blocked. It hit some cross traffic. Pops to O'Keefe with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter of a lopsided game in favor of Penn State.
Biggest news coming out of Haverford broke yesterday. Longtime Ford head coach John Nostrand, who made it known that he was stepping down from Haverford before the season began, named the new head coach of the Gilman School starting next year in Baltimore. So he will join the Maryland Interscholastic Athletic Association, replacing the retiring Brooks Matthews.
Ament playing hide-and-seek still, rings this one off the crossbar. Chases down his own rebound and then looks for Dylan Folds, who hails from British Columbia, Canada. Ament from the top, more than likely not to see a lot of time in the fourth quarter, if any, if this score were to hold. A bad pass there. Mark that down. You won't say it very often about Grant Ament.
No.
Gives the ball to Rutgers in the latter stages of quarter number 3. This was a 3-2 lead for Penn State after 1. Since then, all Nittany Lions.
And Rutgers just has not had an answer for this Penn State Nittany Lion team. Again, a team that's not here, that is still under NCAA tournament consideration based on their RPI, is Ohio State. The Buckeyes, RPI of 13. Their biggest win is over Notre Dame, Fighting Irish in their 3rd consecutive ACC title game this coming Saturday against Virginia. So we'll keep an eye on how things develop off the field for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
The Rutgers team in red that went into Columbus and dissected the Buckeyes in the shoe. Meade comes out of there with a ground ball. 30 seconds to shoot. Sanguinetti against Townsend. The bouncer on the way that's blocked. Whirling out of there, Burns for Penn State. The only team to knock off these Nittany Lions this season at Yale. A 14-13 decision, so 1 goal separating them from a perfect campaign.
And that was a game where Yale, with T.D. Erlin, their face-off specialist, won 90-95% of the face-offs. And Penn State still only lost by a goal. Yeah, it speaks to the firepower. I mean, they typically enjoy the majority of possessions due to Gerard Arceri, but Erlin that day had his number, had the mojo going. But even when there's a huge disparity in possession time, this Penn State team can still put up huge numbers and stay in any contest.
The number 1 ranked team in the land, hat trick from 3 different players today, as Traynor will cool his heels for a while. Jack Traynor, 18-year-old freshman from Downingtown, PA. Looks back cross field, finds a Willard flashing through the crease. Ament skip it there. And a submarine score from Matt Donnelly.
Matt Donnelly is a player that doesn't get a ton of minutes, but he played a huge role for Penn State when they beat Cleveland State about a month ago, about 5 weeks, 6 weeks ago, when Kelly, Rayum, and Townsend all missed that game. Donnelly got the start, scored a couple of goals, and he's showing why. He's able to find the back of the cage when given the opportunity. Nice shot on the feed from Grant Ament.
That's a popular goal here. Matt Donnelly, 3 times a South Jersey Player of the Year in high school. Clearview Regional. He tallied against Cleveland State. He has another one today. It's 15-3. Michael long range. Something away. Gallagher, does it count? Yes. An acrobatic and well-timed marker for Ryan Gallagher.
The rule change of a couple of years ago to where the ball is alive as long as it is out of a player's stick by the time the clock hits 000. Heady play by Michael throwing the ball the length of the field. Look at Gallagher. He just is able to pick it up and redirect it past Kobe Knies. He can't believe it. Heady play by the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
Gallagher gets his 3rd goal of the day. 2 dozen now on the season. As the horn sounds, ending 3/4 of regulation time. We'll get you back for the final 15 minutes of this one. Semifinal number 1, Big Ten Men's Lacrosse Tournament on BTN. It has been a decisive performance today from the top-ranked team in the country and the #1 seed in the Big Ten Men's Lacrosse Tournament. Look at Penn State after that first quarter, outscoring Rutgers, Mark, 12-2.
Just excellent execution once they were able to win some face-offs, get possession time, get the offense in synchronicity. They have been fun to watch, not if you're a Rutgers fan, but the ball movement, the shot accuracy, and the goaltending of Kobe Knies. He kept them in the game when Rutgers had 18 shots in the first quarter, 5 big saves, kept them at bay, and gave his team an opportunity to put on this offensive display.
Penn State is usually overwhelming in the opening quarter. They were plus 45 goal differential coming into today. Only had that 3-2 lead, but since then, wow, they've been in hyperspeed. 15-4 for the guys in the white jerseys. Penn State 4-1 on the road this year, 2-0 at neutral sites, along the way to a 12-1 overall mark.
And I felt pretty confident coming into this game, but there are a lot of variables that could have happened. You know, Penn wins the Ivy League, Virginia wins the ACC. They could have maybe taken the #1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament had Penn State lost in this semifinal game. But I think Penn State advancing to the championship game, I think they have, I mean, a lot of things could happen, but I think they've sewn up that #1 seed.
Big dogs are still out there for Penn State. O'Keefe finds Ament. It's 16-4.
The hits just keep on coming, and right now my only question is how long these guys, these starters and primetime players for the Nittany Lions are going to stay in the game. Spillane to O'Keefe. O'Keefe, look at the survey, and Grant Ament, you know he wanted to feed it back to O'Keefe, but he just said, hey, I'll take it myself. Again, that no-look shot. When he heads upfield, all eyes follow him, and then he redirects the ball, whether it's with a shot or a pass, in the opposite direction.
7 points on the afternoon and early evening for the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year. Unanimous selection, Grant Ament. Had a 4-goal game against Johns Hopkins earlier in the season. Arceri comes out of there with a draw. Johns Hopkins and Maryland in the nightcap, the second semifinal. They appear to be on a destiny course with Penn State. The Nittany Lions running away from host Rutgers here at highpoint.com Stadium in Piscataway.
Oh, we've had the conversation, Joe, me and you, and I've had it with other people. You know, Penn State, I think they're going to championship weekend. I think they're going to be in Philadelphia, and you have to remind yourself that they've never won an NCAA tournament game.
Malone doesn't want to listen to you.
No. but they've never won an NCAA tournament game. And then driving up here today, I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, not only have they not won an NCAA tournament game, they've never won a Big Ten tournament game. We talked about that in our open. That certainly looks to be a thing of the past. Malone used the pick up top, gets down the alley, strong hand, and it's just been too much Penn State too often in this game, and they are running away with this thing. And wow, it has been an offensive display like we have not seen in quite some time.
Rutgers is asking for time. Penn State has a 17-4 lead as we can in the fourth after these words. A 13-goal lead has to be pleasing to the Penn State coaching staff. Jeff Tambroni, he had this instruction for his team prior to this semifinal.
Now we just say this, when it comes to working hard, right, we gotta work hard at all the simple things, the details. Don't worry about talent, but take care of all the little things.
A 13-goal lead has to be pleasing to the Penn State coaching staff. Jeff Tambroni, he had this instruction for his team prior to this semifinal.
Now we just say this, when it comes to working hard, right, we gotta work hard at all the simple things, the details. Don't worry about talent, but take care of all the little things that go into this game. And then enjoy the opportunity. You guys have worked so hard to be here, and I'm damn proud of each and every one of you. So have fun with the opportunity, right? Get it on. Let's go.
Those comments, Mark, echoing the ones that he gave to us earlier in the week. He kept saying he wanted his guys to keep on smiling, getting the most out of the opportunity. He knows he's got a terrific horse to ride.
He really does, and what I like in conversations with Coach Tambroni is how he's stepped back and his coaches have stepped back and not put too much pressure on this team. He said when they won against Johns Hopkins last year for the first time ever in program history, they didn't handle it well, and he thought that him and his coaching staff maybe put a little bit too much pressure on the guys, and therefore they didn't play as relaxed, lost their last 2 games of the season, didn't make the Big Ten tournament. This year, again, it's been a series of firsts where they've had the bullseye, and I think Coach Tambroni, as well as his players, have handled it much, much better in 2019.
Rose drilled that one off the frame of the goal, and the rebound winds up at midfield for O'Keefe. Joe Beninati and Mark Dixon with you, shouting out thanks to all the men and women in our technical crew here in Piscataway, New Jersey, back home in Chicago at the studios as well. Penn State all over Rutgers, 17-4. This is the first of a semifinal doubleheader between these top 4 teams in the Big Ten. Johns Hopkins and Maryland awaiting in the nightcap. O'Keefe bluffing a shot. Mac O'Keefe feeds to the cutting Trainer. That gets away from him. Ball down and coming up with a scoop for Rutgers. Pless will clear, sends it on target. Franz Kowiak hauls it ahead with 12 minutes left in this one.
But if you're Rutgers down by 13 goals, you're just playing with a lot of pride. When you look at what returns on the offensive end for the Scarlet Knights, you get back Mullins, you get back Sherlin Beatties, you get back Gallagher. You say goodbye to a couple midfielders. You say goodbye to Kyle Pless and Max Edelman, obviously, but offensively, at least, this team returns a lot of firepower.
In the goal, it was Ben Pounds, a freshman from Ridgewood, New Jersey, who started the first couple of games at the outset of the season when Max Edelman was injured. Sprock on the feed for Rose. Coyne fires, and he missed the target. Coyne, who had 6 goals just 6 days ago, has been held off the board. Gallagher with 3. Sherlin Beatties, the only other one for the guys in red. This pass deflected down to the turf and taken away on the move by Robbie Black, who has struck today. Short stick defensive midfielder. We're near the 4-minute mark of quarter 4. Subs now starting to come on off of the bench for Penn State. Cole Willard watching Donnelly floated over the top for Jack Trainer. Trainer trying to get to the inside. He's hunted there by Daninger. Dylan Foles comes up with a scoop. Halfway through the 82nd shot clock. Trainer off the roll. Feeds back for Foles. Kept there at stick's length by Michaeli. Donnelly fidgets there out wide. Bring it up top for Willard. Folds ready to go. That pass will get away. Deflected down and out of bounds to Rutgers.
Yeah, a couple fresh faces in the game for Penn State. You've got number 12 out there in white, Seamus Glynn. 42, Joe White. So I think it's a wise move. Get Grant Amon out of the game. Get Mac O'Keefe out of the game. And you've got Dylan Folds at midfield, skipping and hopping his way to the penalty bench. He came up smarting a little bit after making that errant pass to Seamus Glynn.
Owen Mead will take it for a jog there, 39 in the red. The lights are starting to take effect here at highpoint.com Stadium. Blue Jays and Terrapins will play under the lights in our second semifinal. Charlon Beatties shows off that magic wand.
He's had a terrific season. Adam Charlon Beatties. He's not done yet, continuing to fight, continuing to make plays. In early offense, a little bit of a slow break. Penn State just looks like they never get really organized defensively, and Charlon Beatties with his back to the cage, a little twister with the left hand. Nice look inside, good finish, and Rutgers gets another goal.
Charlon Beatties, second of the day for Brian Breck. Charlon Beatties, who had a career best 4-assist game to go along with a couple of goals 6 days ago at University Park, with the Scarlet Knights falling by just one that day to top-ranked Penn State. This semifinal has been a different story. Glatz comes out of there. Jake Glatz, 30 in the white, subbing for Arceri, and there's an injured Scarlet Knight down on the deck. Judging by that knee brace, is that Harriman?
Yes, it is. Number 7 in the red. Didn't see what happened. Comes off the face-off. Him and Arceri have been scrapping all game long, and it looks like that left knee or left leg area just gave a myriad of injuries, not only this season, but throughout his career. Great to see him get up on his own power.
Redshirt senior from Southlake, Texas, whose college lacrosse career began at Bellarmine, then off to Towson. Being assisted to the sideline, the athletic trainer for Rutgers is Christy Andrea. Brian Breck's team, 9 minutes and 14 seconds left in this fourth quarter, down by a dozen. Harriman getting congratulations for his Warrior efforts in the last half of the season.
Took words right out of my mouth. Warrior, a guy who just means so much to this team. And look at the emotion as it's starting to settle in, that for a lot of these young men, it's the last time they will wear the Rutgers Scarlet Knights lacrosse uniform. And this senior class, we were here when they beat Michigan, the all-time winningest class in the history of Scarlet Knight lacrosse.
49 is Nate Buller. 50 is Brett Hobbs. Newcomers off the bench for Penn State. Donnelly weaves it out there with 8:45 left in the fourth. Ball that gets away from Barrett Sutley, number 27. Scarlet Knights looking to clear. Doing so is Garrett Bullitt, the redshirt sophomore from Draper, Utah. Black off the turnover, gave it right back to Pless.
Good to see some of the reserves getting some game action for Penn State. I'm sure Rutgers is going to put some of their second-line guys in as well, but these are the guys that work so hard all season long to get their primetime players ready for battles like this. Big Ten conference games, a huge out-of-conference matchups, and good to see them get a little bit of run here on the big stage.
10 white is Nostrand, another possible candidate out of that short stick D midfield stable. Sanguinetti's bouncer goes wide. Rutgers maintains possession. Owen Mead's had career best numbers this season. Mead runs away from the double. Rose hesitates, picked up by Nostrand. Rose, send it out wide, kick it behind. Mullins distributes. Mead hits the crossbar as that one bounds away. Trevor Scollins has come in. Trevor Scollins, a 22-year-old senior from Massachusetts, spelling Colby Canese. You see his numbers. 7th appearance on the year for him. Sanguinetti's inverted, the midfielder below the goal line. More than halfway through the fourth. Sanguinetti fires, kicked out of there by Scollins.
Nice save by Scollins. Big man. Got down low real quick and a moving pick against Kieran Mullins.
Will give the ball to Penn State. Braden Peck, a second-year starter at close D, still in there, 44 in the white for Penn State as Black will bring it ahead. This was a 3-2 game after 15 minutes if you're just tuning in. 3-2 for Penn State. Since then, the Nittany Lions took off and went to a level that Rutgers could not match.
We start looking ahead to a possible championship matchup between Penn State and Johns Hopkins. They beat the Blue Jays on Easter Sunday 20-9, did Penn State. And then if they have to face the University of Maryland Terrapins, that was a 13-10 win back on March 31st, opening weekend of Big Ten play, which saw Penn State race out to an 8-1 lead. Maryland trimmed it down to 8-7, and then the Nittany Lions stepped on the gas and were able to win that thing going away in College Park.
Michael I made the nice takeaway check. Gallagher, who has a hat trick today, spots the open Mullins, working against Aronow. And Aronow with a takeaway. The cause turnover for 17, the redshirt senior from New York. They are whooping it up on the Penn State sideline. Scollins sprinkles this one ahead. Brandon Stern, 6 in the white for Penn State.
And if you're Penn State, another hurdle cleared in this game. First Big Ten tournament win in program history. Got to feel good. They'll enjoy this one for the next few minutes, and then tonight, and then they'll put it in the rear view as they prepare for Hopkins or Maryland on Saturday. Should be an outstanding game, whoever that is.
#1 offense in the country, right at their per game average. And this is a slingshot to the top corner from Brett Hobbs.
The freshman out of Wilmington, Delaware, getting congratulations all around. Nice little hop step and a quick release. You get leverage on your defender, just let it rip. Nice dodge, nice big body player. And look at that wrist. Puts it past Max Edelman, who remains between the pipes for the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
I'd love to see Edelman make one more save and then take a bow. I
agree with you.
You want to have this kind of a devastating offensive number hung on you. Not anymore, it's already there.
Sure. Yeah, go out, a tip of the cap.
Yeah, let him take a curtain call.
Sure.
5:19 left. Long stick midfielder in there, Zach Masessa, to take the draw for Rutgers, but no harm done for Jake Glatz, who wins another. 18 on the board for Penn State. 9 different guys have tallied. Glatz gets buried by Pless and Masessa. Off the scoop here, that one rolls to the front. There's Edelman launching a lob out there for Pless to take in transition. Pless on the go. Bounce shot, he scores! Kyle Pless.
That'll draw a smile on the face of Kyle Pless on what's been a very long game for Rutgers. There you see the crowd showing their appreciation. Edelman is able to scoop this one up. Ball just going to pop into his cross, and he's not done playing yet. Quick look upfield, quick outlet, and Kyle Pless doing what he does best. I remember watching him against Wagner in his freshman season. Cruises in, nobody picks him up. A little top cheddar, high bouncer for the senior out of Texas. It nestles under the crossbar, and for a moment at least, Rutgers can have a lark.
Second team all-conference performer, Pless. 4 times a Big Ten Defender Player of the Week during the regular season. his first career tally. Window dressing in what is an 18-6 Penn State lead. Pless comes up with another ground ball. He and Michaeli playing catch. Those two will be hard to replace. Timeout on the field with 4:24 remaining in the fourth. Coach Breck continues to instruct all the way to the finish. Penn State, the top team in the land. Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year, Grant Ament, once again, ultra effective.
Coming into this game, 17 goals, 71 assists. And Rutgers has decided to make him a Dodger and a goal scorer, and he obliged. Had to wait a little bit to get some possessions. There was a dearth of them in the first quarter of this game, but once number one was able to get the ball in his stick, he's showing you his range. Off a rocker step dodge up top. Defense hung up behind the cage. EMO, he can step in and sling it, and then off ball. Grant Ament showing you he's not just an assist man.
Penn State's Batman and Robin doing it again quite nicely. Huge numbers throughout the season, and they rack up even more today in this Big Ten tournament semifinal action. Soon to be in the win column.
And the question becomes, how do you defend him? Because if you stay in the gloves of Ament, you got to worry about all the off-ball stuff. And Mac O'Keefe, if you face guard him, you're taking a defender out of the equation and allowing a midfield that can win matchups, get to the goal and score points to have a little bit of a leg up. So you just got to play these guys straight up and hope you have your best defensive effort, hope your goalie can make saves, and hope that Lady Luck might be smiling on you a little bit.
Owen Mead will feed it. TJ Cannell in there to defend, two in the white for Penn State. Rose will circle it up top. Ryan Cunningham is a senior, wearing 28 in the red. Teaming up with Rose here against McCon, another reserve defender for the Nittany Lions. Rose gets inside. Stopped there by Scollins. Just got those legs together in the nick of time.
As time gets short on this one, we can see behind the Penn State goal, Johns Hopkins warming up. They'll take on the Maryland Terrapins. Going to be interesting to see if Maryland can generate more offense. Only 21 shots in that first meeting with the Blue Jays last weekend. And Maryland, can they match the effort and intensity that Johns Hopkins brought? Their backs were to the wall, the Blue Jays. They got a little bit of breathing room right now, but I think that the Blue Jays could still have to play with that do-or-die mentality that they showed at College Park last Saturday.
Charlem Beatty's there, Mark. Hums one high and wide of the cage. As night is falling here in Piscataway, you can feel the temperatures dropping on a breezy night. Mead looks to go into the alley. Turned back there. Defensive play made by Brandon Stern. Sanguinetti keeps the cross in his right hand off the roll dodge. He buzzed that one wide. Backed up on the end line by Kieran Mullins. Mullins, another of those really tough competitors, right? He was nicked late as the season went along. Would barely miss a practice or even a rep in practice.
We saw him leave the game against Maryland a few weeks back, and just watching Mullins his first couple years here in Piscataway, of course, missed a game or two earlier in the season with an injury. Looks like he just wasn't the same player after that Maryland game. Whatever was bothering him looked like it caught up to him a little bit, but you mentioned it. Heart of a Lion, incredible competitor, refused to even take off any reps at practice, let alone miss any game time.
There he is. We referenced the big win in Columbus for Rutgers, and it was Mullins who was 4 + 4 for 8 that day. Time ticking now, 2 minutes left in semifinal number one. Penn State's going to be moving on to a Saturday night showdown here at highpoint.com Stadium. Who will they get in that championship game to be decided? Maryland and Johns Hopkins soon to take the field for warm-ups. Rekindling the greatest rivalry in college lacrosse. Buller teaming up on the outside. Sutley is 27 in the white right here. Last man to strike for Penn State's Number 50, Brett Hobbs. That was goal number 18 for a team that averages 17 per contest. The best offense in the nation on display today. Brian Breck was so happy for the state of New Jersey that his Scarlet Knights could qualify for the tournament that they were hosting. Thought it would be great for the area's lacrosse community.
And even though the game didn't turn out the way they wanted it to, that still rings true. I mean, to have Rutgers here on their home field, playing in the state of New Jersey in front of these great lacrosse fans, and for this team to have another week together, those are some intangibles that you have to take into consideration, even though they're coming out on the short end of the stick against Penn State here tonight.
Rutgers finishing up, 38 seconds remaining. Scarlet Knights, who are 4-3 here at home in the regular season. Long-range whip from the outside. That was Kamish, who had it stopped there by Scollins. As the celebrating can begin for Penn State. Number 1 is moving on. They'll be in the championship match on Saturday. This long clear snapped out of the air by Pless. As time expires in semifinal number 1, a dominating performance for the Nittany Lions, 18-6.
Terrific effort by the Penn State Nittany Lions. There you see it, their first Big Ten tournament win in program history. They move on to try to capture the Big Ten tournament championship and be the first school other than Hopkins and Maryland to do so.
Tough pill to swallow for Brian Breck and his Rutgers Scarlet Knights. This was a close game after the first 15 minutes, but after that, Penn State cruises and takes this one down by the final count of 18-6, and they are jumping for joy on the Penn State sideline. For Mark Dixon, for all the men and women